Hey everybody, this is Nadraj Chronicles back with another video, and I am have been doing a lot of things, upgrading equipment. I did purchase a new MacBook Pro since my last video, and I am also started using a service called Riverside. I'm using their software to record the videos. So for the video, this particular video anyway, I would like for you to let me know about the sound quality, the picture quality, the video quality, and those types of things, because I do want to give the best quality I can. And I do apologize. I've been away for, I think, it's been since December, and we're through the first week in February. So I hope everybody had a happy new year, and the year is underway here in February. Here we go. Our topic today is going to be my own coming out story, which goes back now 36 years. So to the beginning of 1989. So I'm going to talk about my own personal experience coming out to friends, family, and then also just changes that have happened over the last 35 years. So, like I said, I did come out in 1989 while I was in college. So I was 18 going on 19. And Some of the things I did when I first came out, I searched through local media, which at that time media was radio, print, magazines, television. So no social media back then. So I did find a young adult group at the Atlanta Gay Center here in Atlanta. I apologize that that organization no longer exists, but at the time they did. And there was a youth group for people between age 16 and 24. So I joined that group, and that ushered in my coming out experience. That was the Atlanta Gay Center was a place I met people when I first came out who were my age. Some just coming out, some already out, and I still talk to a lot of those people today, over 35 years later, through Facebook and Instagram and different social media. We still keep in touch. That young adult group did help me acclimate to being an openly gay person. It gave me resources to navigate life, to navigate coming out to my family. There was an organization back then called PFLAG, which is Parents and Friends of Lesbians and Gays. They had a lot of information on coming out to your family and how to navigate that. That organization still exists, like I said, and that helped me. I did come out at 18 to my friends in college, and that was a pretty smooth transition. I do have one of those personalities that leans to people know I'm gay, so that wasn't a bad experience or a surprise to them. And that one went off with a hoot. It took me another 3 years at 21 to come out to my family. And especially like a lot of other Black people in my age category who are middle age, I come from a religious fundamentalist Christian background. So that did not go well. Part of the challenge is that my older brother was also gay. And so my mother felt at the time that as she told me, failed as a parent because we were both gay, which told her was not the case. It's like it has nothing to do with you. So my coming out to my family was a very challenging experience. There was a lot of struggle and arguments and just not understanding what it is to be gay on my parents' part, because my mother's a baby boomer, and my father is he's in a generation called the silent generation. So he's in a generation before my mother. So that was just challenging. They just totally, from their generation, not understanding what it was even to be gay. And so that was a lot of challenge. My mother even compared her at the time to a bad habit like smoking cigarettes, which is laughable. But once she said that, I knew what I was dealing with. So I've navigated that, and at the present day, uh, it's not a challenge. I know my parents love me, but it is just a disconnect between understanding what it is to be gay, and that I would say has put some distance there with our relationship. And by distance, I mean we're not close in that particular area of my life. I don't really talk to them necessarily about who I'm dating, or, of course, if I had got married or something like that, I would talk to them about that. But so, and I have not had as of yet any super long term relationships, and I mean by years and years and years. So that hasn't come up quite as much either. So, but I know my parents love me, and we are close. Um, and I'm gay, and they know I'm strong in being gay, so they don't they don't go there at this point in life, and even before then. Once I got to be about in my late 20s and early 30s, I'm gay, and that's the way it is. You can either deal with it, or we can have no relationship. And so my parents chose to continue a relationship with me, and accept that I'm gay, even though they don't understand it. And I think my mother has a better understanding now because of media and information that's out there. My stepfather, like I said, he's the silent generation. He's going to be in July '93. So I don't necessarily try to do a lot of explaining to him around that anymore. And I even laughed when we were watching TV one day, and there was something about transgender people, and he could barely get the word out. So I don't even try to. It's just a lack of understanding. He's just from a totally different generation where it's like an alien, foreign concept. So that's as far as my family. Like I said, my brother was gay too. We, however, were not close, even though we were both gay, because we were just totally different types of people. So I was more of a moderate, what I would call a moderate, not a conservative, moderate person. And he was a hairstylist and makeup artist. And so he was definitely more into the party scene and just less structure and things like that. And just that we just were on a different wavelength. So it was hard for us to be close, even though we were gay, because we were just different people, which goes to tell people that, being gay is just a part of your identity. It's not all of who you are. So we were just different people. And he passed away, it'll be 3 years ago in March. So that's that for the family coming out. Um, and the things I want to talk about now are really societal changes that have happened, and just my life since I came out. I've had a long corporate career. I don't know if I mentioned in other videos, I work in information technology for the past, it's almost 20 years now, since 2007, so 18 years. And I had a corporate career just in marketing before then. I went to college and graduated. All of that happened after I came out. There are other gay people that I met in college, where we are still friends and keep in contact to today as well. And uh, in my life, I just have a regular life. I own a home. I'm doing everything that everyone else does who is my age, continuously saving for retirement, and going to retire. I'm traveling, doing those things. So I just have, over the past 35, 36 years since I came out, have just had a regular life. The things that have changed when I came out in 1989, of course, that was at the beginning of the HIV/AIDS epidemic. So I knew more people than I can count to you who died during that time frame from HIV/AIDS complications. And it was a very traumatic experience. I've always done a lot of volunteer work in the HIV/AIDS area, And it was traumatic being that young, having people that I knew or even people that were friends of friends die during that time. So that experience was traumatizing. And I've gone through therapy to deal with that and acclimate to the way life is now. The thing that has definitely changed in that area is now when I came out in '89, the only medication was AZT, and that was pretty much it. By the end of '95, beginning of '96, that's when the antiretroviral medications came out. So that's changed when in the late '90s, and up until now in the present day, in the last 10 or 15 years, PrEP has definitely been a game changer. For those of you who don't know, that's yes, it's pre-exposure prophylactics. That's taking medication or they now have an injection, and that is to prevent HIV infection. And that is the pills, which now the pills are Descovy. The original PrEP was Truvada. And if you take those daily, the 5-year studies that I've seen is that those medications are 92 to 99% effective. I am on and have been on for about a year and a half, I think now, the PrEP injection Apretude, which is another prevention, and that's just been a total game changer. The injection is from the medical information I read is 99% effective, and even one study says it's 100% effective for preventing HIV infection. And so the way I use it is as a backup plan to condoms. A lot of people use it in lieu of condoms because since it is so effective, it's more effective than condoms alone. So, but I use it as a backup plan. Is the way I use it, and I go every 2 months, get the injection, and I'm good for 2 months. For those of you who may be interested, I have not had a lot of side effects to it, and I have continued to test HIV negative since I've been on it. The last time I went was January 30th, so just about a week ago, because today is February the 8th. So that's been a big game changer in the HIV/AIDS, what I call the war. And so that's huge, especially coming from the generation I came from, where an AIDS diagnosis meant you were dead in a year or two. HIV diagnosis meant you were just waiting to develop AIDS over some years, and there wasn't a whole lot of medications or prevention methods. So that's a huge change in society. Also, when I came out, gay people had what they call commitment ceremonies. There was no legalized same-sex marriage, but gay people had long-term relationships and had marriages spiritually through commitment ceremonies and also just being life partners. So gay people were married, but just not legally. So now, of course, the big game changer is there is same-sex legalized marriage across all 50 states at the federal level as of 2015, and it started at the state level in 2004 with Hawaii, and then it progressed to about 10 states before it became federal law in 2015. Under the current administration, there may be some type of legal battle to repeal same-sex marriage at the federal level, which the current president has discussed, repealing just the same way that Roe v. Wade was repealed at the federal level to send abortion rights back to the states. So we'll have to keep fighting against that. I'll have to keep fighting against it. I'll make it personal. And we'll just have to see what happens with the current administration on that. The other thing is that definitely in the last, I would say 15 years, trans rights have definitely advanced. Trans folks can get their gender markers on passports, on their driver's license and identification and all of those things. Trans folks are definitely more visible on TV, and for that matter, lesbians and gays are more, and bisexuals are definitely more visible on television, in the media, and again, under the current administration, we've had some of those trans rights taken away. So we'll have to continue to fight for our trans brothers and sisters. I will continue to fight. I'll make that personal too. That may be calling your senators in your state and also your senators that are in Congress on the national level to make sure those laws are put back in place. I mean, trans folks have been taken off from what I have seen government sites and government information where it's just LGB and no longer T. So there will be a struggle which I will be involved in to help trans folks secure those rights and retain those rights. And I think that's it. What I would like in the comments is your coming out story, especially as a middle-aged Black, gay, or bisexual man, because I definitely think our coming out stories are going to be different than Gen Z, people in their 20s, or millennials, people in their 30s to the early 40s. That's it for this video, and I am going to continue with some new topics. One of the topics that I want to discuss is there is in the future that I'm going to be discussing. Religion and spirituality as a Black, gay, or bisexual middle-aged man. Also, there is a community that I've just discovered called Baiters, which are just a community of gay men who sexually only masturbate, but they don't actually engage in an intercourse, like anal sex or things like that. So I'm right now checking into interviewing someone in that community. And so I'll have a video on baiters as well. And those are just a couple of the topics that I'm looking at. I'm excited for this year, and I do want your feedback in the comments. Like I said, if you want to put your coming out story in the comments too. Thank you and take care until the next video.